Oh, hello. Welcome to the very first episode of Former Flings. My name is Ken Krekeler, and this is a show in which I have ex-girlfriends on to sort of talk to them and figure out where they went wrong. With me today is Rich Metzger. Do you know why you're here today?
I'm just starting to figure that out.
This is the microphone. Speaking of the fucking microphone.
Oh. I am just starting to figure that out, Ken.
The idea for this series is to have ex-girlfriends on a show. We have a series of questions that I'm going to ask her. We're going to bring her out in a minute. She's already in there. And at the end of it, we're going to ask you whose fault the degrading relationship was. How do you feel about that?
Excellent.
Now, Rich, before I bring her out here, you yourself are in a successful, substantial relationship, right?
Yeah, I started dating my girlfriend Brittany 7 years ago. This just had our 7th anniversary.
What would you say is the recipe to love?
Good listening, understanding. Don't go to bed angry. That really is true.
You go to bed angry every single night, Rich. Well, without further ado, Rachel Rutherford, will you please come and join us?
Hello.
So now you stand. No, stand up. Stand up. Do what they do in the shows. You switch.
Yeah.
No, you switch. You don't watch these little shows? Rachel, thank you so much.
What are you wearing? My God.
This is my talk show host costume.
Got it.
Right off the bat.
Okay, what's up, boo?
Thank you very much for coming and doing this. This is Rich. Do you have any other questions for Rich to make him feel more comfortable or anything like that?
Are you uncomfortable?
Doesn't matter. Rachel, please tell us about yourself a little bit.
Rachel, 29, from Michigan, born and raised. Worked at a law firm for the past 7.5 years.
So you're a lawyer?
No, I'm a legal assistant.
So you're like a secretary?
I don't answer phones, ever.
You just do what the other guy tells you to do? You do what the man tells you?
Yes.
I see. But you're also a cosplayer.
Yes.
Tell me about that. Tell us all about that a little bit.
So essentially, I make and design costumes, usually pop culture, comic book related, and wear them to comic book conventions.
Are they good costumes, or?
I like to think so.
Do you dress them up deliberately sexy, or?
No, it depends on the character. I mean, last year I did Deathstroke, which was full armor, and it wasn't
Deathstroke's
really.
a man.
Thank you for that.
Let's talk about how we met, Rachel.
We met on Tinder.
Tell me about Tinder.
It's the worst. It's the worst app ever.
Why? That's how we met. Rich, I remember recommending Tinder to you. Did you ever do anything with it?
Yeah, and to be open and honest about my 7-year relationship, as mentioned, we, Brittany and I did have a breakup period. We broke up for about 3 months. And I did use Tinder during that time, and it was awful.
How many experiences did you have? Did you ever meet anyone off Tinder?
Yes, just one person. It was very brief, and it was like this.
So your entire scope is governed by one experience.
He probably means conversation.
The men are talking, dear.
Yeah, conversations with people. That happens before you actually meet, because I have a very shrewd vetting process.
Right.
I made the mistake of meeting people that I met online, like way back when I was a teenager, and the girls were psychos. They really were.
Well, what's hilarious is I, like you, usually thoroughly vet someone before going out with them. Oddly enough, Ken asked me out after 3 sentences. You seemed funny and very confident. Seemed confident.
But what about the date itself, though? The first date itself?
We went to the Irish pub by your old house.
I think it's called Dugan's.
Yes, it is. That's where we went. I remember vividly texting him, because that's the first time I've ever been there. And there was nowhere to park. And so I texted him, like, I cannot find a parking spot.
Isn't there a giant parking lot next to it?
And it was full.
I think
I
think this was Dream Cruise.
It was.
Oh.
So it was full, and I texted him, like, I can't find a parking spot. He
Not my
texted
problem.
me back and said, I have faith in you. We've never met. I'm like, is this fucking serious right now?
That's funny.
Yeah. I should have left then.
Why?
Well, what did you expect, I guess? Like, did you expect him to be chivalrous and be like, okay, I'm gonna come out? Were you already
kind
there?
of. He was already there. Yes. Kind
but
of.
you could see how he might want to play the other angle.
The douchebag card?
Whenever I go on a date with somebody that I've never met, I show up an hour or two beforehand, acclimate myself to the environment, do some work, and then by the time they show up, I'm basically like they're a guest in my home. Like, it makes me feel confident.
I just was a little irritated considering I drove 40 minutes there, you drove 2.
You're irritable. You're an irritable person.
That's true. I will not deny that.
Now,
I just want to say real quick that I think that's a really novel way to go about things. I think that's really appropriate. I really like hearing that. Awesome. It's probably a secret that a lot of guys don't know. It's like you actually want to get something out of a date, like put time into it and getting acclimated with the environment.
That shit's fine. That shit's fine. We'll edit all this out. You guys can talk amongst yourselves. We'll edit that in later. It's like,
it's the weirdest thing ever.
That's interesting.
Yeah?
I had no idea what I was getting into.
He mentioned that. Yeah, he mentioned he was gonna tell you once you
funny.
got here. Yeah, that's what I said.
You might be more of like a unicorn. I don't know who else is gonna get to sit in this spot, right?
Yeah, I mean, he's gotta have some exes up his sleeve that don't hate him. Right, Ken?
I'm not on screen yet, so. What initially attracted you to me?
What I thought was your confidence.
What does that mean? What did it turn out to be if it wasn't his confidence?
Well, when you first meet Ken, I'm not sure if you're aware, he seems like a very confident guy. It turns out he is very insecure.
How many men have you met do you think are genuinely secure all the time?
I'm not saying genuinely secure all the time. Nobody is secure all the time. I'm saying Ken puts off a very, very ultra confident vibe. And there was something attractive.
Convincing?
Honestly, I don't feel comfortable on dates usually. I'm a very uncomfortable dater. And I was not uncomfortable at all on our date.
Thank you. That's genuinely a very kind thing to say.
No problem.
What is your annual salary?
What?
What is your annual salary?
Nice.
More than
Looking
yours.
for higher. Now, earlier in the evening,
Yep.
you said something about your dating life. There was something.
Sure. So, there's this guy. He would go for months at a time without saying anything or doing anything or seeing me. So I told him, like, you know what? This is just stupid to even continue this, like, once a week text conversation. We don't hang out. It's not that big of a deal. His response was, just because I don't text you that or hang out with you doesn't mean I'm not interested.
Hey, I'm the host over here.
What?
Rachel, what do you look for in a relationship?
Someone that's really independent, because I tend to attract needy people. Not you.
Why do you think you attract needy people?
I don't know. Honestly, because...
Next question. Why did we break up? Or, to put it another way, why were you unable to hold my interest?
Because you were an emotional train wreck. For 7 months, he went back and forth about what he wanted out of this. So when we first started talking, he told me he was just looking into dating around. Fine, no problem. But anytime he got drunk, he got really mushy. He says he doesn't remember because he was too intoxicated, but he several times told me that he was not seeing anybody else. So Ken, why would I lie?
No, I know.
So, for me, it was surprising. Because we were not in a relationship, but you had told me...
Next question!
Yeah, exactly.
What is it that you feel is my best physical feature?
What?
What is it that you feel is my best physical feature?
Your beard.
What do you feel is my worst physical feature?
I've never thought about it, honestly. I don't know.
Considering the socio-economic climate of our modern nation's political state, how would you rate my sexual performance on a level 1 to 10?
What is the scale? 1 to 10?
Yeah.
7.
Better than 5. Okay. Would you have sex with me?
What? No. Why do you always ask
Will you
me that?
please have sex with me?
Every time I come over.
Have sex with me or I'll kill myself. It literally says that.
I'm not surprised. This is every time I come over.
So this is an improv one. Who's more attractive, me or Rich?
What? No. Rich.
Rachel, do you think I'll ever find love?
Yes.
Why?
Because I think you're a lot better of a person now, and I think that you've worked out your emotional issues.
What emotional issues were they?
Well, your fear of commitment, for one. The fact that you felt like there had to be, like, thousands of other girls out there waiting for Ken.
And there were?
Yeah.
That's what fame gives you.
Oh my god.
It gives you opportunity.
You're not famous. Not the fame. So here's the thing that's interesting, is yes, when I hear you talk about your passion for it and your creativity, it is very attractive because you get very into it and you're very excited about it, and you go through phases where you're very motivated and very driven, and that is attractive. Not your fame, because it's not there. It's not. You're not famous. Sorry.
Okay, how was your experience during this first episode?
It was fun. Honestly, this was really interesting. Like, I think, honestly, if there are any ladies out there, this is actually really healthy. I feel like I got a lot off my chest, and you were forced to listen because you couldn't interject. Yeah, no, I think it was helpful.
So, Rich.
Yeah, I also think this is helpful, and I think maybe it could inspire people to communicate with their exes and get more, Renaissance work or recon work, so to speak, and figure out what it really was.
But when I was pitching this idea to my friends and stuff, they thought it was ridiculous.
Well, even the idea of it immediately makes you think about your own stuff, and if you're a kind of person who may just be like, I don't want to think about that stuff, then you're gonna be turned off by the idea.
Well, that concludes the first episode of Former Flings. I'd like to thank my guests, Blonde Girl and...
I didn't get to rule.
That's right!
He's right. Richard, now that you've heard both sides of the story, who do you think is at fault in the degradation of our relationship, and why?
Well, unlike Rachel, I am a man and I lie, so I find her to be in fault.
Well, I'd like to thank you for joining us for the very first episode, the series premiere of Former Flings. Former Flings, the very first episode of Former Flings, in which I introduce my ex-girlfriends into YouTube in an attempt to make me feel better about myself, because I am deeply, deeply insecure. Thank you, everybody.